13th, 2017. This is MMA Junkie Radio. I am Goes. To my right, Simon Samano. He's back.
Yeah.
To co-host another day. Gorgeous George is off there on the side. George, what does that little sticker mean over there that says Mandalay Bay? Are we not supposed to touch that water or something?
What does it mean?
Yeah. Didn't you write it? No? Huh. All right. That was weird. As I mentioned, June 13th has nothing on September 23rd. I just found out.
Yeah.
Simon just broke the news. Break the news, Simon.
Goes was born on September 23rd. I won't say the year. And Goes didn't realize that he was born on what I'm unofficially dubbing Earth, Wind, and Fire Day.
I never thought of
Because
that.
do you remember the 23rd of September? Boom.
There you go. I'm always, when people do their signs, I'm that guy that depending on what you're looking at, I'm either a Libra or like a Virgo or something like that.
Oh, you're borderline.
Yeah. If I looked at the Orange County Register, I'm a Libra. If I look at the LA Times, I'm... What is that? Am I going to have it? Mine are over here. Yeah.
What's that? A what? No, I'm on an empty stomach. I'm good.
Isn't it? I think it's a cider, George.
It's a what?
That makes it more fun.
I mean, that kind of does. You're right. I gave in to leg kick peer pressure yesterday. I'm not giving in to beer peer pressure at 10 o'clock in the morning.
George, you're going to want to take a beer in the second half of the show.
Huh?
How was the leg kick? You feel it during the day at all?
A tiny bit. Tiny bit. Tiny bit this morning, actually.
What were you saying, guys?
I don't remember. Camera roll.
You don't remember what you were saying?
Nah, Danny. I do not.
Do you
On
know
today's
what,
show,
do you know
Danny.
what I am saying?
Do I know what you are saying, Doc? On today's
30
show,
seconds.
we will have Evan Dunham in studio. I keep
Dunham?
calling him Dunham.
Dunham?
Evan's been
Evan
calling people
Dunham.
out left and right.
Did he call you out yet for saying his last name wrong?
No, he will, though.
All right, we're coming up in 10. You want to start the show?
George is here.
I know. I said we're coming up in 10. You want to start the show?
Okay.
Okay.
What's up?
What's up?
Danny.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
All right, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters.
He's back.
I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our ace co-host, back east, handling all the producing duties today. It's going to be Danny. Sitting to my right, he's back, assistant editor, USA Today Sports, MMA Junkies, Simon Samano. What's up?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here for a second day in a row.
I checked out the leg kick a few times yesterday. I was kind of giggling to myself.
Okay.
But I got to give it up to him. Like, he did it, and then he said up it, up at a level. He got a 2 out of 10 from Gaston Bolanos. If you think about it, That's one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Not in Vegas, not in California, not on the West Coast, not in North America, in the world. And Gaston gave him a special. You know how he told you most people aim for this part of the leg, and he actually went for the more gangsters spot.
Mm-hmm.
Simon says he felt it a little bit this morning, but he did a 2 and a 3, so respect.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was
Building up
cool.
my street cred with you guys.
Hey, so you're from up north. Are you a Warriors fan, or because you've been in LA for a while, you a Lakers fan, or?
I've never really been an NBA fan.
You're not, okay.
Yeah, so, I
Chale?
Yeah, Chale, bro. Like,
All right.
I always cool, good for the Warriors. Used to like Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway back in the day.
TMC?
Yeah, for a little while, but.
Oh, for the millennials, that's Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway, and Mitch Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They had a team that could ball back in the day.
Two of those guys are coaching with St. John's now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think Chris
Well,
Mullin's
Mullin's the
head
coach, yeah.
And then I think, what's his nuts is one of the assistants.
Yeah, those guys would shoot the lights out, except they didn't play much D and they didn't have much help. So,
do have a lot of friends, though, that are very happy about
I'm sure they are.
that. So congrats to all my friends.
And so do we. And congrats are in order. The Golden State Warriors, who, for about a quarter and a half, were getting a little bit of a scare because the Cavs were getting leads of like 6-10, 6, 8, 10. They settled back, took the lead, with a few minutes left before half, and then even stretched it out to double digits. But then in the second half, the Cavs came back. I think they got it as close as 3 a few times, but those guys just come back with firepower. And they were the better team. So they win 4 out of 5, 4-1, and they're the 2016-17 champs. Congrats. This far away from being this, I was talking about a three-peat for crying out loud. Because last year they lost a 3-1 lead to the Cavs, and of course the previous year they won it, but they could have been in the talks of all-time great runs, because it seems like winning 3 in a row is kind of what gets you in that talk.
Definitely.
But they're legit. They're legit. No ways about it, man. They're a great team, and Kevin Durant got the MVP. So there you have it. Now I'm already here in the Westgate here in town, which is the Super Sports Book. They already have installed them as favorites to win it next year, and they're coming in as the biggest favorites, any team, any sport in the history of, I guess, bet taking or whatever.
Is the team going to be intact still, or I thought they had something up in the air?
Well, Durant, I thought, came in for 1 year with an option, but I'm sure he'll, re-sign. And it sounds like everyone else is pretty set. I don't know. I don't know that team too well.
Mm-hmm.
I just know their stars and the coach. But for the Westgate to do that, sounds like everything's pretty much staying intact. And as far as Cleveland's concerned, look, if they won Game 3, it would have been 2-2 going into this one. Assuming they also win Game 4. And this could have been Game 5. They could be looking at things slightly different. They had a 6-point lead with less than a minute to go, I think, and then they wound up losing. But they need to add a piece, and I think they can be right back in there. We could get G-State versus Cleveland Part 4.
Most likely.
LeBron's still at his peak, and they got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who gets slammed a lot, but I don't think he played too bad. And they just got to add a few pieces and just try and come back.
A few pieces or one big piece?
Well, so you could get rid of Love, I suppose, because he's the type of piece that would bring in a couple pieces. So you could do that, and you start to a little bit of dismantling, I guess. I don't think for sure you move Irving and LeBron. Right. So I would say that's the piece where other teams would go, hey, yeah, we're interested. Let us do this for you. But otherwise, here's what the Lakers did when they won 3 in a row. Every year they were trying to add a piece. J.R. Ryder, UNLV guy, he came in. He was a great player, but he wasn't. We didn't need him to be great. We just need him to be get some minutes, score, alleviate. And then another year they brought Mitch Richmond, who I mentioned earlier.
Ryder,
and then the last one was Glenn Rice. Right? Yeah, a few of them didn't play.
He got a ring, but he wasn't even.
It didn't blend. Yeah, they were more. So what I'm getting at is like veterans on the decline.
Yeah.
And so what they're saying is, hey, I just want to get a ring, and I'm not worried about the money, so I'll take that exemption. There's like a $5 million exemption, or I'll just take a lesser salary. But I want to get in there, and so they did. And Goes brings up a good point. A couple of those, like I think Rice had a role. Richmond didn't really.
Richmond was inactive, I think, but he still got his ring.
Yeah, and Ryder, same thing. So, but something like that. Bring in a piece. Vince Carter, I don't think he's got a ring. Carmelo, but see, Carmelo is, I think, a head case is from what I read from other teams. Like, he can shoot the lights out, and obviously they need to match the firepower that the Warriors have. He can shoot the lights out, that's for sure. And him and LeBron seem to have a brotherhood because they came out together, and they've played on the Olympic team. But can he be that maybe even fourth option on a certain night? Is he going to erupt on the sidelines? Is he going to I don't know. Is he going to blend in with the team? Well, but that name has been brought up too. Yeah. I don't know. What'd you think of the Warriors, Gus?
Man, I was getting killed for what I said. The stun gun.
Really?
I'm afraid to speak up. I think Cold Coffee wants to murder me.
Because you said that
the fans about being happy.
They're happy for.
Yeah, I said that's.
How are you out of line?
I said that's nothing to be happy about. Or no, I actually, it's something you can be happy about that you didn't get swept, but don't talk shit about it because it's not a good talking point.
Right.
So, that. But yeah.
It's like getting knocked out, but going, hey, at least you didn't knock me out in the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I just thought the Warriors showed a lot of heart, and I thought the Cavs just there's times where they buckle. Like Kevin Durant, I've always liked him better than LeBron. Okay, I know LeBron can be unstoppable, but I like Kevin as a teammate just because he has that killer instinct, and it comes out when it needs to come out. And
I haven't seen it in previous seasons.
Sometimes
I haven't seen it in previous seasons. Like I would see his team fold, and I thought Russell Westbrook had seemed like he would expend all of his energy. Mm-hmm. Durant seemed like he would check out. But this series, he was awesome. There's no way about it, man. He shot the lights out. He even played some D. I think that's where LeBron differentiates himself from a lot of the others. Is he's able to play a lot of defense, and you can always count on him. He's rarely hurt. But Durant was a beast. He deserved to be the MVP. I was trying to make the point yesterday, but the problem with arguing on Facebook, banging, Facebook and Twitter and all that, is people just read the headline or maybe the opening sentence, and then immediately they just go, "You're fucking nuts. You're crazy."
To the comments.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh man," I go, "That's not what I said." I said this. Here's the point I made. It's easier to just come on the show instead of sitting there on Facebook and going at it with them. I was saying that Durant. So last year, when the Warriors were up 3-1 on the Cavs, they almost won the world title. I was saying that if I was a part of that team, and from when I grew up, it seemed like the teams kind of added a piece, like we mentioned earlier, but not a superstar in his prime. It's like, okay, you got us, but we're going to tweak a piece, because that's what Cleveland did. They added Korver and a few others just to make sure they were strong. Right. But these guys, they had a superstar in his prime show up. But they were that close, and so I thought they could win it with that core, right?
You thought
Klay Thompson, Iguodala, Draymond, and Curry, and just add a piece and beat the Cavs with those guys. Like, I would think that core would want to do it. Now a lot of the attention is on Durant. And the question is, would you have won it without Durant? And I'm thinking maybe they wouldn't have. Who knows? Because he played the lights out. But just because he's out, the other minutes do get filled in. But I would have wanted the challenge of trying to beat them, adding a piece or two, not adding that monster. I mean, of course, they, that more than likely they were going to win because he really is a behemoth, So I remember the Lakers. They had their core, and they would try and add a piece. And I'm talking about the 80s. I'm talking about the 2000s. But they never were able to get a superstar in their prime. Like, even Karl Malone and Gary Payton came on the tail end, but they weren't they were superstars, but not in their prime. And even then, it didn't even work out. So I felt like just go with that. One year I'll go to football now. As the San Francisco 49ers, Cowboys were a big rival. And we would add a piece here and there. One year we got a massive piece in Deion Sanders, and he was able to shut down
the year
Irvin.
After the Niners have.
Mm-hmm. He was able to shut down Irvin, and it was great, to have something. Football's a little different because we're talking about 52 players versus.
You're a Niners fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
52 versus 12. So the impact is there, whatever. But in this instance, here's where I'll untie it a little bit. They added a guy who came from a team who was 3-1 on them. If you'll recall, Durant and Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors, right? So when the Warriors come calling, I would have said, fuck you. We're going to add a piece, and we're going to get you, and we're going to go get Cleveland because this is the team that drafted me, and these are the fans that have cheered for me for so long. So I'm Oklahoma City Thunder, you know what I mean? Now maybe on the tail end of my career, where can I go? I need to get a ring, I get it because Gus made a good point. Wearing a ring at some point, it does validate your career. I'm sure Barkley would like to have one. He tried that angle as well. But in your prime, when you're that close, if I was Durant, I think he should have added a piece and tried to take down the Warriors. And the Warriors should add a piece and try to take down the Cavaliers. Instead, here comes Durant, all the attention on him, and then they hear him saying, like, oh, man, these are the greatest fans. You just said the other guys were the greatest fans for 10 straight years. Now all of a sudden he's the great. He probably has a rental house. I'm sure he hasn't even bought real estate. He just got there like 6 months ago. So it all just seems so fake. Like, it seemed like he took the easy route to get that ring rather than persevere and grow. Like, I remember the Pistons would fucking shit on Jordan. They called it the Jordan rules. And they kept tinkering the pieces here and there. And finally, when they got over, it meant a lot to get over the Pistons. It meant a lot to go over there and shake Isaiah's hand and all them. And those guys go, man, you got us. We were on top for a while. You got us. Now go get the Lakers. And so there was like this passing of the torch, like that type of respect. And of course, they went on and did some great things. But this one just, I don't know. From the sideline, I'm watching it, and I'm like, Warriors, I think you could have done it without Durant. And I think it would have meant more. And if Durant would have won, if they added a piece and beat the Warriors and the Cavs, I'm telling you, man, he would have been clutching that trophy. He would have been balling like a baby, just like Jordan did when he won it, because it means something to do it with the franchise that brought you in, or at least one that you've been grown into for a while, and you added pieces and you grew together and got together versus just going in and co-signing on one. That's all. But I'm not going to type all that. That's probably like 10 paragraphs. So that's kind of what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm. People come at you?
Yeah, they only – well, of course they say, well, what about Malone and Payton? I'm like, well, did you not read Superstar in Prime? Okay, well, what about what about this? What about that? And apples and oranges.
Malone was no joke, though. Payton was a little bit more on the decline, but Malone was still taking his team to the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, yeah, I guess he was closer.
As a fan, I didn't like it too much because I thought people would say that, but
and it hadn't really been working out in those other years.
You quote that year.
No, yeah. You winning the ring trumps all. I mean, obviously it's a happy moment. Durant is happy. He's a world champion. There's no taking away. Warriors fans can don the gear and all that. But I'm just saying, like, as someone who's watched 40 years, and by the way, I'm able to log into Facebook and voice my opinion. It's my page, right? So that was just my thought in watching it. I'm like, man, you guys could have done it without Durant, I believe. Would have been close. Yeah. And I think Durant could have maybe done it with the Thunder, and I think it would have meant more to him. Others disagree, but I've seen a lot of sports in my life, man, and I know I've seen that pattern to how people win trophies, and it means more to them when it's either the team that drafted them or the team they're from or whatever.
Yeah, I think you can feel simultaneously happy for Kevin Durant because he's been such a good player and a good guy overall for a while, but I think you can also sort of have your take and be like, hey, wait a minute, this title it feels kind of,
a little bought. That's why the Yankees are so hated, because the Yankees, there's no salary cap, right? And so the Yankees are like, here's a bunch of all-stars. We pay $200 million, $300 million.
Right.
And of course, some years it would work. And when it didn't, everybody would be like, it didn't work, because they had so much at their disposal, so many resources. But then they'd fire back and go, and grab yet another superstar. Well, of course you're going to win it. That was a little bit different. No salary cap. It blew up in their face. They had a core, but I liked it when they had their core that grew up with the farm system, like Jeter, Posada, I think Bernie Williams, and then they started importing Giambi from the A's.
That's why I'm okay with it, because there is a salary cap in basketball, and if you look at the majority of the Warriors roster, it's homegrown. It's guys they drafted, so they worked the system. They had the money to do it. And what do you want from your owner, right? You want that guy to put the best team he could possibly put every year, and he did that. I'm okay with Durant. I wouldn't have made the move, But I respect that he put 10 years in an organization that just wasn't giving back to him the way he was giving to them. So I'm all right with it
So
at
you
the
see,
end of the
that's
day.
the thing. I think at the end of the day, it's okay to be on Kevin Durant's side and be happy for him, but still also acknowledge at the same time. It's kind of the easy way out, though. Like, it's a title, but it's a title that we all saw coming 11 months ago when he made the decision to sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the ending we all predicted, everybody. So I'm happy for Kevin Durant. I do, and I'm happy for Warriors fans. But I'm with George for the most part here.
Yeah,
that I just feel like the title.
I'm happy for him. I just think both Durant. I just think they could have had different meanings for all parties involved if the situation had stayed. I guess that's all.
When does if you can't beat them, join them? The slogan of life. I guess in basketball,
Yeah.
right? In
Yeah.
basketball, I think it applies. That's the way it's structured.
Now, that said, going forward, they got a lot of prime athletes in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s. So them being a favorite does not surprise me one bit. They could very well be right back. Barring injury, they seem to have something great there. And so now they work on a back-to-back, and then they get to the three-peat, and then we can start. They had on ESPN, they go, how do they compare to the Bulls? And I think they put these 3 years versus the Bulls 3 years. I'm like, are we really doing this? Not because I think Jordan was this or Magic was that or anything, but the Bulls won 3 in a row. These guys won 2 out of 3. Let's just start there.
Right.
Win 3 in a row, and then you go, well, now let's make the comparison.
Then have the
But they hadn't
conversation.
even gotten there, so I was like, that one was forced. I know the producer was going, hey, end that segment. Whoever did that, fire him. Let's just get another Durant interview up or something, because that was horrific. Did you see that last night?
No.
How do they compare to
I
the
didn't see that, but
94, 96 Bulls or the 95, 97 Bulls? And I was like, look at that big glaring number, 2 and 3. And again, G-State was this close for it being 3-3. And if it
that was a meltdown.
then we're all of a sudden having a conversation because they broke the Bulls record for most wins. And I think over that 3-year period, they may have had more wins. And what if they sweep this year? I mean, that would have been something that's never been done. Now we're really talking. That's how much that loss last year hurt them in terms of all-time great talk. But moving forward, they have pocket aces. They're chilling. So, Again, congrats to them. Parade is probably coming up soon, and milk it for all it's worth because you never know how long it's going to last. I mean, when's the last time we went to a parade, Goes? 8 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, and even before that, well, I guess no. The Lakers have been in a lot of parades, but before that was, I guess, another 5 years, and then before that, it seemed like the 80s was from 87, 88.
Yeah, those are the Nick
89,
Van
all the
Exel
way.
years,
Yeah, that was about
Eddie
12-year stretch where we were like, hey, what happened here? We used to go to parades almost every year. It felt like the Rose Bowl.
Good for Oakland fans too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About to lose the Raiders. Soak up all the championships you can get right now.
And
the Warriors are about to leave.
That's a
San
unique
Francisco.
situation because they were the Philadelphia Warriors and then the San Francisco Warriors, and they became the Golden State Warriors. But that's one team that both Oakland and Frisco can co-sign.
Yeah,
on.
but I can tell you, I have enough friends. I'm from Northern California. I have enough friends on Facebook, and enough friends who want to claim that it's an Oakland championship. There's people. That's a whole debate. Is this a Bay Area championship or is it an Oakland championship? I mean,
they better get over it soon because you know why? I heard they're building an arena in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
And I think the training centers in San Francisco gonna be state of the art and everything. So how's that gonna go over?
I mean,
not well.
I think because the Warriors are the only team in the Bay Area, it's a Bay Area championship. But of course, since Oakland hasn't won a championship as in like the Raiders or the A's in quite a while. Oakland, I'm sure people who are of that fan base are like, no, this is an Oakland championship.
For sure.
They kind of want to like claim that.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, they're set for a while. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. Now we're stuck with baseball. MLS, WNBA, I heard they got next. Oh, boy, this is the painful part of the year. Go schedule a vacation. Let's get us out of here, seriously.
I kind of did.
Yeah, because this is the part. I mean, MMA, throw me some more events because now we just got to wait out football and the beginning of the Premier League. And then, of course, baseball playoffs. I love it. September and October is great in baseball. It's very strategic and the stakes are high. The best pitchers are going. There's a lot of pressure. There's no way around that one.
This is where you build your foundation for your relationships, though. It's where you take little vacations, you do nice things, go to a few weddings. That way, when football season comes around, go, what do you want from me? I was a stud for the last 2 months. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I may have to get over to that Grand Canyon and
I refuse
Zion.
to go to the Grand Canyon. I will never go. Zion, I heard, is really cool.
You'll never go to the Grand Canyon?
Nah, man.
Why?
Just a big hole. I mean, I think you're going to see it, and you're going to, wow, that's awesome. But then, like, after 10 minutes, you're going to go, anybody hungry? Like, I just feel like that's what's going to happen. It's my Star Wars.
Big Ben is like, that's just the clock, and Eiffel Tower's just a tower. I mean, there's something to the beauty of it. Like, on Machu Picchu, you didn't go, hey, that's just a little favela.
That's different, though. It's got a nice story to it. It's crazy. We don't even know how it got there.
Yeah, we
Grand
do.
Canyon's
They
just
ran
like,
away from
man, it's a big hole. No, but we don't.
Spaniards.
We don't know how they built that. Like, how'd they get those stones all
That
the way
was
up there? There had to
amazing.
be some
You ever
kind
been
of
there, Machu Picchu?
I have not been to Machu Picchu. It's on my list, though.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. It's breathtaking. And I anticipate that's what the Grand Canyon will be like. I will say this, goes. I don't want to do the little 2-hour one. I heard there's this west wing of it. You have to go to either the south or the north rim, I think they call it. And that's 6 hour. That's a 6-hour drive. But there is one that gets you in 2 hours. It's just I heard that reservation, like, they won't let you take a picture, and they're limited on time, and it's expensive. And I'm like, you guys are kind of really milking this business. I thought you could, go and enjoy it for the day on one of the more traditional rims, I guess. So I think I want to try that one day. You know what I want to take? I want to take Mom. I think she'd like it.
Grand Canyon?
I think she'd like it.
What about Dad?
Well, him too. But he's like,
good one.
You ever see Vacation?
Just curious.
Right, watch around and go,
just curious if your dad would like it too.
No, my dad's more like where he'll just see someone go, hey, that's pretty cool, and then he'll go,
like
I'm gonna grab a cigarette, and like
it's a big hole, so he's of the ghost mentality.
Yeah.
Well, no, but he'll go. But like I remember Hoover Dam, he just kind of like said, oh wow, pretty cool, and then back away. And I think my mom's like, let's take a picture.
Take it in.
How long did it take to build it or whatever?
Gotcha.
And plus he's not too much of a traveler, I guess, in regards to that. So, I mean, he was a soldier in Germany. He went for 2 weeks for the World Cup. So that was pretty cool for sure. But
he was okay at Hoover Dam. I mean,
he was a little afraid of heights, so he didn't want to get too close. But
well, it's scary. I mean,
like
you could either see it and take it all in, or not. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
So what? I don't think Dad's listening, so I'll tell you this much. He's the kind that the drummer's like on a hammock.
Yeah.
He's just chilling on a hammock with a margarita. And he's like, oh, wait a minute, that's a joke. Hold on, let me get off the hammock.
You, man, that's you. Go.
Who's got the sticks? All right. Dun-dun. And then he goes back to the hammock.
The second one was him tripping from walking that far. He just hits it like at the very end.
Yeah. My dad is the type that'll go, so let's just say we're all there, and somebody goes, they got downstairs, they got a tour, and you can learn more about it. He'll be like, you guys don't want to go on the tour, right? So he kind of a Debbie Downer a little bit.
Yeah.
And so now we're a little divided, and let's say Goes isn't feeling it too. It's 2-2, and next thing you know, we may have to go. Whereas my mom will go, yeah, let's go, and let's learn more about it. We're already here. And so yeah, I mean, I'll ask him if he'd like to go. I don't think he'd like to go, but maybe. Has he seen it?
I don't think
He's
so.
got relatives in Arizona, so maybe.
Maybe. If he's listening now, then he's definitely going to say he saw it. But I don't think he has.
I don't think he has either. And I'm on that kick. I want to see a little bit more of the United States. Yeah. I love traveling international, but I felt ashamed that I still haven't been to our nation's capital. You ever been to Washington?
I have.
Yeah.
Twice. Well, when I was younger, and then one time when I went back to the USA Today headquarters.
Oh, okay. In Virginia, right? What?
Yeah.
How close is it to Washington, do you think?
30 minutes, maybe. Not too far. And,
we need to go, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
Just to take a picture, just a selfie. Hey, look.
Yeah, it's good.
That's where Trump be tripping.
Yeah. Even Escobar has a picture in front
that's
of the White
where
House.
that's where Trump lives, and that's Putin's summer home. What were you saying?
I said even Escobar has a picture in front of the White House. And
Does he really?
Yeah.
Huh. The Clemson football team was there yesterday. That kind of took a while to arrange, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, they won it like in January, and they just got there in June. I guess they got to wait for classes to go. Yeah, it makes sense.
I guess it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. All right, on the MMA front, guys, update on Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. We kind of put it on the back burner and said, let's just leave it alone until it happens. If it happens, and if it doesn't, let's stop talking about it. And people, thankfully, have stopped talking about it, but we have to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, it was discovered that Mayweather Promotions had done. They had gotten a date reserved for August 26th here in Las Vegas at the MGM. And so people were speculating, but wouldn't it be at the T-Mobile? Well, a little bit of quick research showed me that T-Mobile's booked, and that is Floyd's house. He says the MGM's my house. Is it 4,000 more seats? Possibly, yeah, with the suites. But he did $80 million on the gate with Pacquiao, so I don't think he's too tripping over that. I don't know. That was a massive gate, by 4 times as much as any other gate I think he's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's sweating too much the seat situation. Plus, that's co-owned by AEG and MGM Resorts, whereas MGM Grand Garde Arena is just owned by MGM. So that split might be different. So I don't know that just going to T-Mobile meant more money for all parties involved. Anyway, partly that to Conor saying, hey, big things are coming a few days ago, and so we were thinking that might be it. Then we were hearing that date's been pulled. Someone from the LA Times, I believe Lance Pugmire, said the date's now been pulled, and according to a couple sources. So anyway, it looks like it's
Wednesday.
It looks like it's getting warm, but then it gets a little bit cooled off, or I don't know if they're just cooling off the big announcement or what. But any additional thoughts on this?
Well, who knows if it's just with NHL finals, NBA finals. Who knows if it's just to drum up more talk, really, when you think about it. But they did ask for the date. They pulled it back. It's supposed to be Wednesday.
This Wednesday?
This Wednesday was when it was on the docket. It got removed from the docket.
I got you.
So now that opens the door for them to request a date for T-Mobile. Which it's got to be at T-Mobile, George.
Well, I looked
from MGM.
I looked at T-Mobile a little bit, and there are a lot of dates that are booked.
Yeah, but there's something to be said as well about just having the it fight in the it arena. That's the way Vegas runs, right? Everything's done big and over the top. I think it's going to end up being there, man. I really do.
Maybe, but I will say this. It doesn't mean it may sell out either. I mean, it's supposed to be a pretty massive fight, but there are also a lot of people that aren't convinced. Like, are the Irish really going to, the Irish always complain that they're like, Conor really set us back, our bank accounts. They came out here and they celebrated, but it was a hard trip to make for them to come over. The trip, the hotel, the drinks, everything. And so are they going to pick their spots and say, well, our guy is more than likely not going to win this. Are they showing up? And again, AEG owning half of it as far as like the monies that come in, because obviously MGM Resorts wants to have a say in this. Could their $15,000 or $16,000, whatever they get, trump the $18,000, $19,000 that they get at T-Mobile if they're not sharing half of it? Mm-hmm. I don't know. And again, Floyd's comfort. He's 49-0. He may be going, man, I'm good. Of my 49-0, I won 40 of them here. I am good at MGM. I like the way they treat me. So I just think the news leaked, and so I think they're just trying to put a little bit of water on them, but I think there's fire there.
Is that not early either? August 26th seems
so
soon.
So I looked into that, and when Pacquiao and Floyd did their thing, it was just over 2 months, and look at how great it became. And this is 2.5 months if the 26th is a valid date. So I think they're comfortable with that time, and they can get it done. And Floyd was caught already doing a late-night run, either last night or the night before.
He's been doing that, though. He's been helping his buddy work out in London, or I can't remember where.
Oh, yeah?
So he's been on that track. And he's kind of that guy.
Right.
He kind of still does it anyway. Not a drinker. He's not a smoker.
Yeah.
Stays in shape.
Have you changed your mind? Do you want to see it?
Nah, well, I'll watch it, but I'm not too thrilled about it.
Would you pay for it, or are you going to someone's house?
No, I'm going over somebody's house.
Yeah.
I will not pay for that.
Will you pay for it, or are you going to someone's house?
I won't have to pay for it.
Well, there you go.
So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't have to pay for it.
I won't have to pay for it. I'll have to watch it for work purposes.
Okay.
If I didn't have to,
that's more the question.
If I didn't, I mean, probably not. I just think it's if there was a reason to tune in, it would be to just see if McGregor did some crazy shit, like at some point,
kick him or something,
like let his legs go out, whether that was, at some point. But yeah,
The other day I was watching Brandon Rios, and he was fighting. It was on TV. It was ESPN.
Big layoff.
And I was going, even that guy could beat Conor McGregor, and he hasn't fought in a while. But you could just see, man, those guys have boxing muscles, boxing muscle memory,
Yeah,
and it. Why are we doing this? I guess they're all going to be rich. Good for them. But the one thing I know about Conor is he's smart, and he'll figure out a way that even off of a loss, it won't impact him.
Right.
Whether it's with words or his actions. But I don't think he's going to let himself get posterized.
What bugs me the most is, I've been saying this for a while. Max Holloway said it yesterday too. If you made that kind of money in boxing, would you come back to MMA to make a quarter of that, half of that? I think he's done after this, dude. I don't think we'll ever see him back in the cage.
I don't know. I think he'll probably make $50 million, and I think in MMA he can probably make as much as 25. So I think he would come back. I think he'd realize that was an easy cash grab, but this is what gets the juices flowing. All right, you're right. We have to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll come back. We'll keep discussing. We want to take your calls, so call in at 866-522-2846. Also, UFC lightweight Evan Dunham will join us in the second hour. So lots to look forward to here on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Stay close.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
We were so late in taking the first break that we pretty much have to go to commercial again. You're listening to MMA. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, did you see Andre Pederneiras? Andre Pederneiras is saying Jose dealt with a leg injury, which prevented him from the leg kicks.
Wow.
People were wondering about it, and he said that the leg injury prevented him from running and the leg kicks. So the running might address why he was starting to gas, and the leg kicks, the injury addresses why he wasn't throwing leg kicks. He said he was able to box, and that was the focus, was for him to box. He felt like he won the first 2 rounds. Everything was working. Then he got hit. He says he was able to train jiu-jitsu, train in boxing, train in wrestling, but he said the only time he felt like they may be potentially hurting themselves is if he threw leg kicks or defending wrestling takedowns. And so now he says, I don't want to offer excuses, but that is an excuse. However, you get asked the question, I suppose, what are you going to say? No comment? You're trying to be as honest as you can. So anyway, a little bit of an update there. He definitely wants to fight for get his title back, but I think a lot of it also had to do with just Jose's pulled out of 5 fights, like in the last 3 years, I believe, and that stigma carries, and I that cost him. I mean,
I'd be down to see it again, just not now.
No, yeah, you got to see Jose fight someone else and have Holloway defend versus Edgar or Swanson or whoever else and freshen things up a little bit. But that's on our front page there on MMA Junkie if you want to check it out. Also, UFC Fight Night 111 is taking place in Singapore. The fighters have been traveling the last few days. Some got there a few weeks early, as evidenced by Colby Covington's interview about a week ago. He was already there. Very smart of him to do that, but travel day is usually Tuesday of the event. And, of course, MMA Junkies on the scene. Ken Hathaway and John Morgan are there covering the event. So definitely follow them on Twitter. And keep hitting that refresh button on MMA Junkie. Will bring you all the coverage from that event. Holly Holm, Betchkahea is the main event there. Vitor Belfort opened to a neutral ground rematch with Nate Marquardt following UFC 2012 excuses.
Not interested.
Me neither. It wasn't that great of a fight, and I just give Vitor someone else. Simple as that, whatever. But interesting to see that he'd be willing to fight outside of Brazil. I think we're past that. I mean, USADA's testing worldwide. It's just that apparently Globo, he's a big star for them, and they always request to have Vitor on fights. And that's a huge partner for the UFC. Derek Lewis firing back on social media towards Travis Brown. I don't think it was like the biggest arsenal of comebacks that I've ever seen. But he was basically talking about the Google Translate with France Ngannou and then telling Brown, I thought Brown could have said a little bit more for the way Lewis is always talking about Ronda Rousey. That's his fiance for crying out loud. But who knows if that thing will heat up, and who knows if we need to see that particular fight again, except we know that UFC does love those drama fights. Lastly, Carrie Ann Taylor Melendez is out of Bellator NYC. So unfortunate there for her. I got to give it up. She had a really nice KO in her last fight. All right, let's take some calls here. If you want to join the party, it's 866-522-2846. We'll start off with Marco in Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco, Uruguay. ¿Qué pasa, Datos and Simon?
¿Qué pasa?
Hey, ¿qué pasa?
For a second, as I was listening to NBA Junkie Radio, and it's all good. Congrats to the Golden State Warriors. Hey, Ghost, didn't you know Machu Picchu? You be watching Ancient Aliens? It's all extraterrestrials, man. That's George Tsoukalos.
Man, standing there, I wouldn't doubt it, because those stones look so heavy. I don't know how the hell they got that up there.
I've been there back in my high school days when I've been to Machu Picchu. It's amazing. Dude, this Conor McGregor deal, man. So you guys said the rumor is August 26, T-Mobile, MGM, who cares? I don't know why, man. I get the impression that a lot of people are selling Conor short because, freaking Mayweather is the best of the best and stuff like that. But I think Conor can offer a different stance, man, and a different distance. If he's smart, he's not going to give him the same boxing look that he always says, and that's why I give him a chance in the first 2 rounds. After that, of course, it's all Mayweather, man. But what are we talking about this fight? Until they announce it, I don't want to know about it, man. And people are going to show up anyway, man. It's going to be an event. People are going to fork the money just to say they were there. You know how it goes. They're going to promote the crap out of it. It's all over ESPN. It's all over everywhere. So people will show up. They'll pack it out. They'll make their billions, and then hopefully we can move on, man. Well, at least you guys tomorrow.
See you, Marco.
Mayweather has been boxing since he was a kid, and it's all he knows. Been doing it over and over. There is not a stance that guy has not seen in his life. You could show up on stilts, and I'm sure at some point you go, like that dude that came with stilts, he's seen everything. You are not going to trick that guy.
Yeah. And Marco, we really haven't been talking about it too much. It's just that this date was set, and
it was in the news yesterday.
It was in the news. It was all over the place,
it was
too.
Everywhere.
But I'm willing to just let it go as well. I do believe, though, that is going to be the date. It's just something leaked, and now they're trying to extinguish it because they probably got away from making this grand announcement the way they like to do it. But something tells me that it's going to happen on that date.
Think so?
And if not, it's going to happen later in the year. But I have a feeling it is going to be that date. Lastly, Marco, he has no chance, not even in the first 2 rounds. In fact, Floyd Mayweather Sr. can show up instead of Floyd Mayweather, and he would beat Conor McGregor in a boxing match.
That's actually a possibility.
Right?
His dad could still throw.
Yeah.
In boxing, it's either done or it's not. There is no it's close. It's either done or it's not. There's a reason why it's not signed and put out there. And when you have 3 egos the size of Floyd, Conor, and Dana, all that can come crumbling down very easily.
Let's go to Muna in San Francisco. What's up, Muna?
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Hi.
Good.
Hey.
Good. Hey, got 2 things, one in MMA, one in NBA, but thank you, guys. Quick question first off. Simon, what part of NorCal are you from?
I grew up in Salinas. Well, I grew up in Gonzales, actually, but I went to high school in Salinas. I always say Salinas because nobody knows Gonzales, but you probably do.
What's with all the last names up there? Hayward, Gonzales, Salinas. Just somebody showed up and I got all this. I got all these acres. Name it after me.
Yeah, I guess.
Coming out at my birthday party at Johnson's.
There's a King City, though. That's where I was born.
Yeah, all right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Nice. All right, well, hey, Simon, just don't talk to Kendra because apparently she doesn't consider that NorCal. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an hour south of San Jose. You know, like San Jose is NorCal, technically, right? It's the Bay Area. That's where it starts. Gilroy?
I think she said, well, I shouldn't speak, but a lot of people say the actual Northern California is from there forward. I guess crossing the Muna, help me out, but when you cross into Santa Rosa, what is that? Crossing that bridge? Is it that the actual bridge? That's actually the Golden Gate, right?
Yeah. Santa Rosa.
Yeah, from there forward, I guess, or Sacramento up is Northern California. Just because if you look at the state, it is. I mean, the state's massive,
right?
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, point is,
I
grew up Central Coast, but point is that's Niners, Giants, A's, Warriors territory.
There you go.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll stick into NorCal. Anyways, quick thing, Gigi. Yeah, I'm definitely going to disagree with you with the whole Durant thing. I mean, I think it comes down to an old school mentality versus kind of a millennial viewpoint where, you know, I can't hate on. I mean, I'm a Warriors fan, but you know, Kevin Durant was drafted by a team who he had no say with. He spent his time in Oklahoma City, and when his contract was up, he went to a place that could pay him the max, where he could have fun and have a chance to win a championship. So
I don't think they paid him the max, though, did they?
They paid him
I think
well.
I think he got paid $4 million less. To his credit, by the way, that's how much he wanted to win. He was willing to take less money to play with the better money. But I don't know. I just, like I said, it still just seems like a little bit of a bitch move. But hey, he got his ring, and that's fine. And the Warriors won, and the Warriors were a quality team without him anyway. So they could have very well won it without him. But they got him.
They did win it without him.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I mean, the pitch to him was. Yeah, I mean, the pitch to Durant was, hey, you could probably win championships in Oklahoma City. We'll probably win some without you, but together we can win a whole bunch, and we'll see. It's still early. I'm not one of those guys who's going to say, hey, let's compare them to the Bulls or not. Hey, let's let this run go, you know, finish up, and, you know, we'll see how things stand. But for a guy who essentially took a better job opportunity, I can't begrudge the guy for him. That's really, to me, that's what it comes down to. But anyways, you know, we're going to have different people have different viewpoints, but hey, from a business standpoint, he got a ring. It worked out, so more power to him.
Orale, Muna. All right. Thanks for the call.
Anyways, hold on, wait, George, one more.
One more.
You there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to give props to Mike Bond. I don't know if you saw his tweet, but the UFC for this upcoming Singapore fight had tweeted that, hey, we've got, former champion in Holly Holm and Dos Anjos, and Oblowski, sorry about that, as well as Gomi. And so they touted all these stats. Mike Bond came with them hard, saying that, well, in their last 15 fights, they're 0-14-1. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we got a great staff at MMA Junkie.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch the fights. But that was nice by Mike Bond.
All right. Thank you. See you
all right, you guys.
Wow.
Do you know what
That's
happened?
a zinger.
Do you know what happened?
No, I don't.
It was, and I got to give a lot of props to Mike as well. If he's listening, Mike, a lot of props. It was a Twitter beef that I didn't expect to have happen. But Mike
in the UFC?
Mike in the @UFC Fight Pass account.
Okay. All right. Can we get to that in just a sec? Let's get this break out of the way, and then Simon will tell us about it, and I can research it. I did see that Mike had put out some stats, but I didn't know that was part of any zinging and back and forth. All right. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Stay close.
Let's see. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B-A, start. You told me that code would get rid of them. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, but now they know I tried to kill them. Hold on, Mom. Here are George and Goes.
All right, Simon can maybe chime in here, but it looks like the UFC Fight Pass account, to exception to Mike Bond's stats.
So Mike, first of all, Mike is our facts guy. He does our piece every week of pre-event facts for every event. So he knows his numbers. He knows the facts and figures leading up to every event. And he's really good about that. And he was just tweeting out some facts about the fighters on the card and the fights in general. And they simply were just facts. And, it included losing streaks for certain fighters. And there's a lot of fighters on this card who have losing streaks. And apparently UFC Fight Pass account whoever was running it, seemed to have taken some exception to that.
Yeah.
And engaged in a little bit of a Twitter beef with Mike.
He says the main card has 2 fighters coming off back-to-back losses, and let me see here. Then he says, the card ain't half bad, but there are a lot of debuting fighters. The UFC says, that's a lot of skids in your tweets, Mike.
There's a lot of skids, yeah.
This is the kind of card other orgs put on a pay-per-view, but in this is on the mighty UFC Fight Pass. And Mike was never actually slamming the Fight Pass.
He was never.
He's just putting out his facts.
Mike was never.
And they're incorrect because I know that's probably a shot at Bellator. And come on, Bellator's got some really good fighters on their fight card.
There was no commentary in his tweets. It literally was just facts. So Mike never said it was a bad card, but I tweet the facts.
They listed the former champions: Pride FC, Strikeforce, UFC, a title challenger, and then Mike came back with all of whom are 0-14-1 in the past 15, as Muna noted. Interesting. All right, we'll dive more into this when we come back. We're also going to have a visit from UFC lightweight Evan Dunham here coming up in a few minutes. First, a commercial, then a sports update. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Simon Samano in the house.
On the run, I'm gonna have me some fun because me
Has anyone ever walked out to this?
You have.
I'm talking about UFC or Bellator or whatever.
Not that I know.
Somebody should, right?
Maybe.
I mean, or is Randy Savage just? Would it be a complete insult to him? I mean,
no.
Right? I think it's like walking out to. I think people have walked out to the Rocky themes or whatever. Or
think of anything, it'd be an insult to you, wouldn't it?
that's a good point. You gonna show us something back here?
Oh, look what I have. This is George in high school at a talent show as the Village People. That's Elvis Johnson. He's been on our show plenty of times. He's the policeman.
Point out George.
George is the migrant worker towards the end.
That's Sammy the Squid.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is he supposed to be?
The bounce or the biker?
He's the biker?
Yeah. Dude, we put it together in
Kind of looks like a lumberjack.
We put it together like in one night. I don't think we were going out shopping to Party City.
Well,
or
Harold
nothing
looks
like
good. He's the Native American, right?
Yeah.
Elvis looks like a cop.
Now, how did they feel about you being
He was a security guard. He had
security guard?
Yeah.
Security guard.
That's
Instead
George
of a cop?
flexing right there.
I don't think any of the others are any part of Junkie Nation. Now, see, that was a hit because you know who taught us the sequence? We copied the cheerleaders, and they had just won the national championship in Florida. And so they go, man, rather than memorize what the hell these guys are doing, let's just take a book out of the cheerleaders. And, of course, they were cheering their asses off for us. So, little secret there. Are we going the whole way, or?
Nah.
You got to go to that close-up part. There's a
Oh,
close-up.
you want to go to the
There is
close-up?
a close-up of George.
Oh, Simon's already gotten a preview.
Oh, I got a preview. It's coming.
Let's see, where is he at? It's when you guys do the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's out of it, I think.
Did he fall?
No, he meant to do it.
Somebody fell, though.
Johnson was awesome, with the exception of he didn't know the words. So we got penalized for the lyrics. So he's out there like chewing gum, like the guy that Moona rode with. He's just moving his mouth, but he wasn't even getting the words right. So that's kind of what cost us, they told us.
What are you, 16, 17 here?
17. And very drunk.
Here we go. Oh, there it is.
Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Good job, George.
Thank you.
I was telling Simon that you guys actually lost that night to Prince.
We lost to Prince.
And their performance was way better because they had everybody on their feet doing the because they did YMCA afterwards.
Yeah.
But he's actually a really big Prince fan.
Yeah, but what happened was our guy, he just didn't know the word because it all came together. You know, at the very end, we just weren't going to do it, and somebody goes, "Let's do this." I said, "Oh shit!" And when we realized, man, choreographed, so one of the cheerleaders goes, "I can teach you guys. Instead of doing that, do that. All right, cool, let's do that." And then, of course, he just didn't take the time to memorize lyrics. There wasn't really Google or anything.
Yeah.
I think you had to buy the album and hope that maybe the lyrics were there, or hit the recorder, the tape recorder, and write them down.
What Prince song
So
did
that
you lose
cost
to?
us. I don't remember what they did, but
They did Purple Rain
If
at
they
the
were
end.
smart, they probably did. They?
I think so, yeah.
If they were smart, they would have done the upbeat, like "Let's Go Crazy,"
Let's Go
maybe,
Crazy or something, yeah.
"Baby I'm a Star," or
Third place was The Cure. They were pretty good, too.
Did you ever do an air guitar?
Did I ever do what?
An air guitar concert.
I did.
Or
in high
lip
school.
sync, I guess.
Yep, I did in high school.
What band did you do?
So I did it 2 years. 1 year it was me, one of my other buddies. It was 3 of us, and we did Cheech and Chong. Earache My Eye.
Yeah.
I was Chong on a little kid drum set. This is so stupid.
You have a
video? Somebody's got a video somewhere. My buddy was Cheech, and he did the whole scene with the tutu on. He had the whole getup.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Superman shirt. We had another guy who was just a guy with a trumpet. I don't know. It was pretty wild. It was fun.
How about you guys? Did you ever do one of those?
No, I don't think we ever had one.
No air guitar. I
Oh,
wonder
no,
if
wait,
they still
we did
do
in
it.
Fountain Valley. But yeah, no, I don't. No, I never did that.
I wonder if they still do it.
I thought it was like it's not a talent show. It was just all air guitar.
It was all air guitar.
Oh, okay, talent shows are pretty
It's just
funny.
something that the seniors did every year.
Yeah.
And when I was
so
a
you did it
freshman,
twice?
yeah, when I was a freshman, I went to that year's, right? And Eddie Gonzalez, Mike's brother, they did.
He was
Village
far
People.
ahead of you?
He was 3 years ahead of me.
I didn't know that.
It was Eddie, and then Steve. Steve was a junior, as Eddie was a senior. And then there was, I guess, Woody, but Woody went to another high school. So I went, and that's what they did. So, I guess you had to let a few years go by before doing it. But at the time, there was certain bands you could do, and what are you going to do, stand up there and be Spandau Ballet? Or that ain't going to work. So you needed something that had energy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do the Romantics. That's what I like about you. Is that their name?
Okay.
Something that the crowd is into, regardless of whether you like or dislike the song, something that had energy. And then somebody said, do that. And I'm like, well, that got done 3 years ago. Nah, fuck it, let's do it. All right, let's do it. Who's got this?
How
Who's
did you
got
round up
outfits?
that crew? Like, was everybody like, okay? Did you guys draw straws to see who's going to be what?
No, man. I think it was just like, I think I have a hat. You're the cowboy. I'm a security. My brother's a security. You're the cop.
You're the cop.
Yeah. So we were literally scrambling at the end. You know who I wanted to do? I think they were called the OJs from Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
Remember the black band that plays at Romans?
Mm-hmm.
You're
busted?
Huh?
You're busted?
I'm busted.
What wasn't that? How's the song? Let me see.
No, I used to go 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh, I got it all wrong.
Moving it on the road. I think they're called the OJs. You want to find it or no?
Sure.
Every time I say something like this, when I go, hey, who did Lyoto fight? Goes, I don't know. And he just kind of stands there, and I have to go, all right, I'll go look for it. But let me see. I think it's the OJs. Or is Danny looking for it?
Love Train OJs? Like those OJs?
I'm looking for it. What's the name of the title of the song?
The OJs. Could this have been them? They played in the movie.
By the way, I'm conditioned to do that because of the stupid fountain of misinformation. It's just a better gamble for me not to attempt it than to get it wrong and be swimming in the fountain of misinformation. I thought you were talking about this song. After this advertiser.
Hang on. We got a few minutes to kill here before we get to Evan Dunham. He's rolling in, right?
He should be.
That was your bag, Gus?
Don't put this on me.
You didn't book this guy?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. I think they were called the OJs at Romans in the Fillmore. I remember he says that. No.
Oh, wait, this is the main thing.
Oh, that's true. I should just go Beverly Hills Cop.
At Romans?
Is it? No, it's 48 hours. That's what it is. It's 48 hours. What am I saying? That was all filmed in San Francisco. Did you ever watch that, Simon, or is that too old for you?
No, I watched it.
With Eddie Murphy, right?
A little bit of breaking news, guys.
What happened?
Mike Goldberg and Mauro Ronaldo are going to be commentating for Bellator NYC.
Yeah?
Scott Coker announced.
They're both play-by-play announcers.
How does that work out?
How does that make sense?
I don't know. That's the early info.
Oh, maybe one of them does the NYC portion and the other one does the car.
One.
But okay.
Steven Morocco
kind of
just
not
tweeted
really
that 3 minutes
necessary,
ago.
though, right?
It's a big card. Is Dave Navarro really necessary to play the national anthem?
No. What I mean, though, but you don't have Dave Navarro sing half of it and then another band sings the other half. I'm saying, I think one of them could do it, but maybe there's a scheduling conflict or who knows what. Okay, I'm happy. So Sean Grande, play-by-play guy for the Boston Celtics. He's done a lot of sports. He's no longer with Bellator. He actually tendered his resignation, and they parted ways on good terms. And I was wondering if that matched Mauro Ronaldo's timeline. Mauro Ronaldo was on our show about a month ago, 5 weeks, and he kept saying in 3 weeks there'll be a big announcement. So, of course, we thought, could he be the next UFC guy? Now I'm thinking, could he be the Bellator guy? Could he be going back to the WWE guy? We don't know. And that has come and gone, and I don't think we have any additional news on that, right, guys?
No.
So you guys want to know, Bellator just put out a press release.
Yes.
They say that it's multi-event broadcast agreements. So it's not just Bellator NYC, but it's beginning with Bellator NYC.
So again, why do they have 2 play-by-play guys?
Yeah, it seems silly to me. I mean,
happy for the guys though.
Okay, I can think of this. If Morrow were to have multiple assignments because of boxing, and let's say he stays in wrestling some way, maybe the other guy's there to split it up.
There's
because
been
Sean
times where he's done it with Quadros.
Sean Grande was saying that it started off as 16 events, and Bellator's growing to 23, 24. Have you guys heard that? That's crazy. That's only like 10 events less than I think the UFC has gone down to. No, I guess the UFC's down in the low 40s. But I heard Goldberg tried out for the Golden Knights hockey position. That's where he comes from, is hockey. And I heard he tried out for that, and there might be a chance he gets that. So that's not starting until 2018, though, right?
Right.
All right, Goes, I'm sending you a YouTube, and if you can play it straight, that's the band I was talking about. It didn't work out, so we wound up going with
man, you sent it to my phone.
With
What the what?
What's the name of that band? Village People.
The Village People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Macho Men.
The Macho Men.
Yeah, they're called the Bus Boys. Goes is what they're called. And when you guys hear it, you'll
man,
go.
You're all over the place.
You
I know the Bus Boys. We play this when we come back from vacation.
Yeah.
Man, you should have started
Can
there.
you play it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said the OJs.
You're better off saying OJ
That's
Simpson.
why
Maybe because there was.
That's why I said Love Train OJs.
Maybe
like
because
those
there was
OJs?
killings in 48 hours. I thought, I kind of connected the dots there or whatever. But anyway, all right. So Mario Ronaldo deserves to be calling MMA, and I'm not saying Goldberg doesn't. If we need them both, we need them both. I think they're both talented, but there really is something special about Mario Ronaldo and the energy he brings. Case in point, watch a fight from 10 years ago or 5 years ago, a great fight that had him on the call, and you feel like you're there, dude. You feel like you're in the arena experiencing it, and even though that you know the result, he makes it special.
Yeah.
And he does that from start to bottom. Why? Because he's always like that. It's not like he walks in and goes, "Good day, sir," and then all of a sudden turns it on when the fight starts. No, I mean, this guy is just non-stop. It's like he's got a megaphone built into his mouth, and he just has a ton of energy, but, it's special.
Yeah.
This is them.
Okay.
Yeah. You wanted to do this group?
This is what we were trying to do or thinking about doing, and then we couldn't find – back then there wasn't the accessibility of just pulling the download down or nothing like that, and it was too hard to find the album and the soundtrack, so then we were like, nah, what do we do? And then somebody suggested Village People.
Did you have to pull out the yellow pages and then call Music Plus and then ask them if they had the tape?
Yeah, and they said, nope, we don't. You better call Sam Goody.
And then you open up the yellow pages again and flip.
You remember Sam Goody?
Sam Goody reference, yes.
Goody got it.
I do.
Yeah. Is that you gonna post that, or I saw that on Facebook, or was that like somebody find that, or you found it? What brought that aboard?
The Village People?
Yeah.
Danny picked that song to come back to, and I said, "Did you know one time George did air guitar to that?" And then I asked Elvis, and Elvis, to his credit, Chloe O'Brien did and got it to me within like 2 minutes. He could have been asleep for all I know, but he got it to me really quick.
Wait a minute, did he really?
Yeah.
I thought I asked him for.
He said it was on Harold's page, so he just grabbed the link from there and put it on.
Oh, is that what it
happened
was?
So fast.
I asked him once for something. And he shot me down so quick, like I thought I owed him money or something. Like, don't ever ask me for a favor again. And it was something along the lines of that. I think it was that. So he must really like you, and not like me or something.
Well, come on. Not me.
So the
Maybe
is that thing with Bond dead? Like a couple exchanges. That was it. I only found UFC Fight Pass chiming in 2 times. That's it.
I think they it was 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. But I think it was 2 or
4?
3.
Really?
Yeah, and it ended with Mike's last tweet about how they're 0-14-1.
Right.
In the last 15 fights.
So here's them. This is them, I believe, taking a shot at Bellator. They said, "There's a lot of skids in your tweets, Mike."
Oh, you didn't acknowledge the poop emojis.
Right. Yeah. This is the kind of card other orgs put on a pay-per-view, but this is
on the mighty
UFC Fight Pass. So to be fair, let's do that. Let's do UFC Fight Night 111.
Yep.
On one side, and on the other we'll do Bellator NYC. And they're about 1 week apart. And just to keep it real, just to have a little bit of fun, let's see what you guys think of both cards. So first start off with the headline bout. Holly Holm versus Betch Correa. I'm not going to worry about who's coming off a loss. Let's just go with the names, all right?
Okay.
That way we don't study and go, well, Fedor's doing this and Mitrione's doing that or Vanderlei or whatever. But Holly Holm versus Betch Correa versus Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva. Goes, your thoughts?
Whoever wins that fight is nowhere near any sort of title shot.
What
so
fight?
Holly Holm and Betch Correa. So there's no storyline there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you take the main event of the other card, there is something there, right? We don't know. They don't even have a champion.
There's Chael versus
but
Brazil. There's Chael versus Vanderlei.
I forgot it's Chael versus Vanderlei. I was thinking more Mitrione and Fedor.
No, because technically the other one's the headline.
Yeah, the co-headliner, right?
So I think we could side that Bellator has that handled.
Yes, I think so.
What about Arlovsky versus Tabora and Fedor versus Mitrione?
How do you not want to see the great Fedor fight?
That's what I'm
no
thinking too, right?
That's easy, yeah, Fedor.
Yeah, so you have to be careful when you pick these cyber battles. All right, so Colby Covington versus Dong Hyun Kim. And on the other side, we have Michael Chandler and Brett Primus. Goes and I will elect to bow out of this because Chandler is a good friend of ours and a landlord, according to Danny. But tell me between Michael Chandler and Brett Primus. Chandler's their 155 champ, and Primus is the challenger. Chandler's ranked. Versus Colby Covington, who's just outside the ranks, but Dong Hyun Kim is, and those are welterweights. What do you think?
Chandler Primus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tarek Safadine and Rafael Dos Anjos. And on Bellator's side, it's Douglas Lima versus Lorenz Larkin.
Douglas Lima, Lorenz Larkin's a fight that I've been wanting to see over a lot of fights, actually.
Yeah, that's a fight that I find very intriguing. I think it could be really exciting. I would take that one.
It's for a title, yeah. And then if we just go down to round out Bellator, it's Aaron Pico versus Zach Freeman, and we're just going to use the main event from the UFC Fight Pass, Takanori Gomi and John Tuck.
Takanori Gomi, John Tuck.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, easily. And so then basically it's that undercard versus, we still have Phil Davis and Ryan Bader.
On the 180.
Yeah.
On the 180 portion of
now,
it, that's on Spike.
Now, the UFC Fight Pass, to be fair, it's free if you have UFC Fight Pass, but UFC Fight Pass also costs you $10 a month. So that's $120 that you're spending. Bellator's only asking for $50. UFC Fight Pass also gives you 4 events, not just the one. So even if you assign each one a $30 value, we're just pulling.
Exactly. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. We're just splitting atoms over here, but I don't think the Bellator card's bad at all. I'm looking forward to it.
I would definitely I want to see the Bellator card over this weekend's Fight Pass card. That's for sure.
Yep. All right. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. When we come back, we'll be talking to UFC lightweight Evan Dunham. He's in the studio. Stay close, folks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
February 23rd.
Yeah, so took about a year off, you know. I'm busy, man. I'm a busy guy, you know. Better too busy, not busy enough, you know.
To link into the MMA Junkie Radio Network, hit us up on Twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors are the 2017 NBA champions. Listen to the celebratory coverage of the Warriors title along with analysis of what's next for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers by tuning into NBA Radio Series 207 XM86. Want to welcome to the show Evan Dunham. You have been in our new studio. So what do you think?
I think it's great, man. It's really nice. I actually, when I hit you guys up, I was like, you guys somewhere different? Because it looks so much different, you know. So I thought you guys had moved buildings or something, but it's real nice in here, real nice.
So all we did was there was a wall that divided the two rooms, and it got knocked down. We took off the roof, and then we added the trusses with the lights and
very
cage,
official.
new desk. You know, yeah.
Very official.
It was time to grow up a little, you know.
Yeah. I hear you.
But anyway, great to see you again, and great
you.
to see you piping up there on the social media. I know it's not really your thing.
I'm trying.
But I saw it. I had this big smile on my face, just scrolling through, figuring out who's saying what. Because I love it, man. I love trash talk. I love it when people go at each other. I think there's a build-up to it, and it obviously benefits you all. Sometimes you get the fight you want.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe
it
puts more dollars in your pocket. Yeah, you know.
I'm trying to move up in the world in the rankings here. So I figured, you know, the division's pretty jammed up right now. So I thought I would get on there and start, you know, poking, trying to get the fights that I wanted to get. You know,
I knew he could do it because how many times do we get like Oregon USC jabs? Like he's got an arsenal. Like, he was actually pretty funny at the stuff he said.
Yeah.
You know, it's. Yeah, it was actually tough. I was trying to do it one hand. I had an infant in one hand. I had the phone in the other hand, and it was actually pretty entertaining. But I don't know if I was taught. And then I got into a jab with what I thought was Alquinta, but I don't know if it was really him or not. So somebody said it wasn't. So
who started it, by the way? You did, right?
Oh, I did. I definitely started it. Yeah.
And what's funny is if you go to Evan Dunham 155, first he does a rankings, right? And it says Connor, Habib, Ferguson, and then he's got the others, and it has booked next to their name. Next to Nate Diaz, he put not fighting. Then he continues on with others that are booked. He gets the Ally Quinta at number 11. And he writes, whiny bitch.
Yeah. I threw that one out there, didn't I?
Yeah. And I think that's what got things going there. And, of course, Evan Dunham, his comment next to him, for number one signature striker in lightweight history.
Yep.
So
and I put the thing down below to prove it. So, you know, I'm the only guy I'm the only guy in that top three, I think, that doesn't have a 5-round fight either. So, and I think I'm beaten. I think Nate's number 2, and I think he's still behind me by a couple hundred punches. So, you know, I don't know why.
It's been a few days. Has this picked up any traction?
A little bit.
Has the UFC mentioned anything?
No, you know, it's I kind of got something in the fire, but, you know, it's really premature to talk about it. But, you know, at this point, I'm trying to move up.
So does that mean the UFC's approached you for a fight?
Yes and no. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So, you know, they threw names at me a few times, but it's like it's not a fight to get excited about, and I need to get excited about a fight.
Fair enough, because you put in your time. You've paid your dues. I'll give you that.
I've been here for 8 years. I want to move up. I've been sitting at number 12, 13, I think, for like 2 years now. Don't give me a guy out for 4 fights, you know, win streak. That's just going to, you know, move me. That doesn't benefit me at all. You know, let me move up. And I totally understand where the division is right now because, like I posted, it's really booked up. It's really, you know, the top 3 guys are almost, you know, just stagnant up there. And I don't know what they're going to do. And I know, you know, nobody's really going to get a shot at those guys until they figure out what's going on. And then the middle of the pack's all booked up. You know, and so really you got the guys, you know, that are the 10 through 15 that are available. And it only seems right to me for those guys to fight it out to see who gets a shot when one of those top 10 spots opens up. You know what I mean? So, I don't know rankings don't always determine what fights go on, but it seems like it should to me because why else are you gonna have rankings?
Chael was on the show yesterday, and he was like, I don't understand why all these guys are calling out Ally Quinta.
Well, he's got some hype on his name because he keeps bitching and moaning about how much he's getting paid, and I agree with Alex Quinta that we are underpaid. absolutely. But if you want to get paid more, there's only one solution. Either A, you need to just not fight, not get paid at all, or B, you need to finish your contract because you know what you signed when you got into it. Finish your contract and then you negotiate. That's how it works, you know. So, yeah, I think we're underpaid, absolutely. But, I mean, you're at a point where it's kind of shit or get off the pot, you know what I mean? So,
Where are you at with your contract?
you know, I'm a little bit into it, you know, and we'll see what happens when I get to that point, you know. But I'm not going to sit here and do I think I'm underpaid? Absolutely. But you're not going to hear me going, oh, you know, I'm not going to do this.
How many fights do you have left before your contract's up?
I think 2.
Oh,
So,
nice.
But yeah.
So maybe by the end of this year, you could be renegotiating a new contract.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and so.
In this day and age, do you explore or are you UFC? You know,
I think that's a question that you have to ask yourself once you get there, because you know, you can't really foresee exactly what's going to happen between now and then. You know, ideally, I do explore and kind of see, you know, test the waters, but really it depends. Depends on the situation. I like being with the UFC. I've been with them a long time. I don't see myself leaving. But if there were greener, you know, pastures somewhere else, you know, why wouldn't you? You know?
Right.
But
what's your run been like so far? You enjoyed all your time with the UFC, or is it a lot of ups and downs?
Well, you know, I've enjoyed all of it, to tell you the truth. It's, you know, every day, you know, obviously I think everybody straight across the board is, you know, underpaid. And I think every fan agrees with that. Every fighter agrees with that. But we're in a position where it's either take it or leave it. And that's the position a lot of people are in this world, where they're underpaid, they're maybe underappreciated at their job, but you really don't got many other choices, you know. So you can sit there and bitch about it, which is, you know, if you want to do it, cool. You know, it's bringing them attention, but to me it's a really weird attention, because like, who wants to just hear about somebody complain about not making the amount of money that they wanted? They just want to sit back, enjoy fights, and appreciate it for what it is. But, you know, I'm at the point where it's, you know, I don't want to hear that. You know,
Did you go to the summit?
Yeah, I did go to the summit.
What'd you think? The new regime, WME,
you know,
IMG.
I'm in a unique position because I live here in town. So for me, I went there and I knew what it was going to be. And so I looked at it and I was like, what can I get from this? And since I live in Vegas, I can get a lot from it, because I can go down there every day. I can get my strength and conditioning. I can get PT down there. You know, I can get food down there, which is pretty sweet. But I understand that 99% of the people on the roster don't benefit at all from it. So I can see the frustration that a lot of people have, where it's like, you brought us out, you showed us this cool, awesome thing that I can never use. It's going to cost me a ton of money to come out there and do it. So I'm in a unique position because I actually appreciate it, because I was like, oh, okay, cool, I can benefit from this. And so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Kobe speech. I enjoyed what's the guy, the
Strahan?
Yeah, Strahan was good. He was
Yeah.
good, but he wasn't my favorite. I really liked Kobe's, and I really liked the guy off
The guy from Shark Tank?
Yeah, I liked his too.
You remember his name?
Was it Damon? Was it Damon John?
No, it
Who was
was it wasn't Cuban, it wasn't John, and it wasn't the lady. It was
it's
whoever, the other guy.
It was Mr. Wonderful?
No.
Paul Orndorff?
No, not Paul Orndorff.
Phil Davis?
O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary?
I believe so.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah.
He calls himself Mr. Wonderful.
And what was it that it was so great? 'Cause
wasn't Kevin O'Leary?
No.
No?
Man, why am I forgetting his
All
name?
right, let's try.
I'll look it up.
Oh,
there
I
it is.
wanna know.
It's the dude at the end. I'm sure he probably hates it when you say that.
Hershkovich.
Yes. And so he actually had some good things to say. I hung around a little bit. A couple guys were asking him about gym questions and running businesses and stuff like that. And so, you know, I just kind of was like a quiet mouse in the corner listening. And you know, the thing about those summits, man, is, you know, I've been to a few of them, and you could take. It can either be a really good experience or really bad experience, depending on how you treat it. If you go there kind of bitter taste in your mouth to start with, saying, oh, you know, like, they're spending all this money, they could be putting this money towards us. And I understand that point of view, but, like, I'm a guy who's going to, you know, take advantage of what's there. So if I have a chance to sit and listen to these guys that are really successful, I'm going to take whatever I can from them. You know, and I did learn some stuff, and I've actually already been applying it to my own life and my own business. So it actually did benefit me, but I do see the other point where a lot of people were frustrated because, I mean, I'm sure it cost a lot of money to put on that event, you know. But I had a good time. It wasn't bad. So
that's the opposite view of what Al Iaquinta had, because
he left.
He was talking about he's talking about how it's so weird that Kobe's talking about investments and this and that, and we don't even make near the money. So he said, I think he said it went over all of our heads. That's what Al said.
Yeah,
But
I
you
mean,
obviously got something out of it.
Yeah, like I've been smart with my money, so I've been smart with it, and I've been trying to put it in places where it can work for me, and by no means am I, my point is even if you can apply what he's saying on a very small scale, learn from the guy because he's obviously got tons of experience, So, but I get what Iaquinta is saying, Kobe is talking about buying businesses and doing all that shit. We can't do that. We don't make that kind of money. You know what I mean? So if you could take that big scale and kind of scale it down for your own personal self, then it's definitely a benefit. But I get what Al's saying. A lot of the stuff I agree with him on. One of the reasons I came at him is because he's like, as you saw off of the chart that I made, is like I said in my comment to him, I'm your only option, and it's true. Like it's me and him at the top of that heap there. And so if he wants to fight, it's kind of a no-brainer for both him and I. You know what I mean?
What does the UFC think of the matchup?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sent lots of texts and stuff like that, but I don't have a manager and stuff. I do everything myself, and so it's sometimes that can be a challenge within itself. Having that line of communication.
Why no manager?
Why? Man, because of the way contracts are shaped and the way that they, I've been there for a while, so I kind of know how things run. So why pay for a manager and give him a percentage if he's not going to make you X amount of money to pay for what you're paying? You know what I mean? Like it has to be beneficial to myself as well.
How long ago was the split?
A while ago. I've been doing it for a while. So,
because you had a pretty popular one, Rivetta, right? Was
yeah,
yours? Okay.
Rivetta, yep. And so, I did my own thing, and there might become a time and a place where I need a manager again. But it's one of those things where it's
a lot of it had to do with when Reebok came. There was also no additional sponsors.
Exactly, you can't get you can't get any additional sponsors, and which is, I know a lot of guys really hate that, the Reebok, and I'm, I see both sides of it. But I'm, again, like at a kind of see it from a different perspective because I've been there for a while, so I'm a little bit higher on the pay scale. But if I was a new guy coming in and they were paying me $2,500, I would probably think the way that I think, So, yeah, it's nice for me because I don't have to do anything. I've never been a guy who likes to, ask for things here and there. And so it's kind of nice for me because it's just an additional amount to the show.
I know you like to hold your cards close to your chest.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask. Who were the names they tossed at you? Because so far, I think the Iaquinta matchup is a great one. I'd love to see it, but
it makes perfect sense. And it's a great fight.
They threw a couple names at me. Like you said, I like to hold my cards close, but none of them would benefit me. You know? And I'm not above fighting guys right below me, but at this point in my career, I feel like I deserve an opportunity to move up. I'm on a 4-fight win streak. Granted, you can look at the guys that have beat. You got
Rick Glenn.
Rick Glenn. He's
Lozon.
kind of an asterisk next to it because he was short notice. So,
Ross Pearson.
But you got, Ross Pearson. He's been on a downfall. But when I fought Ross, he was on a 3 or 4 fight win streak. When I fought Lozon, he was on a 3 or 4 fight win streak. So I fought these guys technically when they were at their height.
Yeah, no one's hating.
They're coming back. So all that said, I would think that if I didn't ask for a fight above, I would look back and say, well, why the fuck didn't I ask for a fight? Why did I just take what was given to me, Like that saying says, closed mouths don't get fed. I need to speak up and tell them what I want.
So you've probably been through this a couple times now where you're negotiating your own fight. How many times do you feel like you can come back and say no before?
I've never done it before.
Never?
I've always just accepted what they gave me. And that's part of one of the reasons why I'm standing firm now, because it's like, if I've always just said, oh, where do you want me? Oh, I'll be there. But the way that the UFC is set up now, it's really the squeaky wheel that gets the oil. If you're out there saying what you want and you want it and you want it and you're pointing it out, you got a much better chance of getting it. If you just accept what's thrown at you, chances are the other person was a squeaky wheel and now you're just getting fed to them or whatever, however you want to look at it. You know what I mean? So.
You combined the crying baby and the squeaky wheel. I saw that.
Yeah.
Nice work.
So, it's like you gotta speak up for what you want, and sometimes you gotta stand firm on it. And that playing back to like the pay and all that stuff. There's points where you can do that, and there's points where you can't do that. So I can't say I'm not gonna fight again unless you pay me X amount more, because that's not gonna happen. That's not how contracts work. But as far as fights and negotiations for fights go, that's exactly how it works.
Do location and card placement play a big role in
No,
your
I don't
decision?
care about that. No, it's about who they give me. If they gave
So
me
it's all about the opponent.
Yeah, if they gave me a top 10 guy and we were on the, what is it now, the fight pass, I wouldn't care. I'd rather have that than I'd rather be a main event versus Joe Schmo that I don't not even get excited for.
Even a main event?
Well, yeah, because it's like
Wow.
for me, it's not about nowadays. Over my progression of fighting and stuff, it's more about what can I accomplish. I want to look back someday and say, I really tried my damnedest to move up, and I spoke up when I needed to speak up to try to get as far as I can get. And if I don't do that, then I feel like I'm cheating myself. Biggest fear is having what ifs when I get older. What if I would have asked for this guy? What if I would have held out for a little bit longer for a higher ranked opponent? I want to fight the tough guys and move myself up to see how far I can get up that list. I want to get back to where I was when I originally got it, because I wasn't top 10. I want to get back there. So,
all right. Well, I would keep with this Quinta path. You may have to put up with a lot of these white knights.
Well,
Did you notice he had a lot of
oh yeah. I mean,
defenders,
that's gonna
including
be,
our own Gabe Killian was in there.
I got people calling him President Iaquinta and stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of funny. But like Iaquinta's just one of them. I don't know. I know I murder his name. Darush. He's number 10, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be a great fight because I know he's a good jiu-jitsu guy. He hits hard. I think that'd be a real good fight. I know my stand-up game has been improving every single fight. My last 3 fights, I feel more comfortable, and I'm putting high numbers up there, volume over power. So I think that'd be a great fight, man. I don't know what his schedule is. I know he had that fight with Barboza.
Yeah, he
was
took
his last
a
fight.
bad knockout.
Yeah,
The knee. Yeah.
I don't blame him for taking a little bit of time.
You said
off the
Poirier was booked. Who's he booked against?
Well, I figured so. A lot
He's
of this.
talking about Eddie because the fight just happened.
Yeah, because aren't they going to rematch? That's what I keep
oh,
hearing.
I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
So I mean, when I say booked, it means I'm anticipating Eddie and Poirier getting the rematch, right?
What about the result at the end of the month between Chiesa and Lee?
I would like to fight Chiesa, absolutely. Actually, Lee's a training partner of mine, so I've already done the fighting a training partner thing. And
Tyson Griffin, right?
Yeah, I did that already. Let other guys do it at this point. And now I run a really small camp, and Kevin's one of the guys that I can call up and ask for help from. You know what I mean? So they'd be shooting myself in the foot to fight Kevin. But actually, before Kevin even got that fight, he and I were talking, and we both wanted to move in the top 10, and we both were looking at the Chiesa fight. So, I mean, I'd love, if Chiesa comes out on top of that, which, I don't know if he will. I don't think he will, but I would definitely go with Chiesa for sure.
How do those camps work out now? Because we used to know you as an Extreme Couture guy, and we see you in there from time to time, but do you mostly bring people to your gym?
It's a mixture. You know what I mean? I do all my grappling at my gym. I throw the gi on every night. Well, every night that I can, and roll with my guys. And I got some tough dudes in there now. So I get good hard rolls at my gym. Lately, I've been doing a lot of boxing with Gil Martinez over at Roy Jones's, and I just meet up with him at random times whenever I can fit it in schedule, and he can fit it in my schedule. I still wrestle a lot with Kyle Griffin. Do a lot of my jiu-jitsu with Kyle. And then when it comes to sparring,
where's he at?
Kyle?
Yeah.
He's all over the place, man.
Yeah. I know I've seen him at Drysdale's, Extreme. Like, this is over the course of 10 years. But
yeah.
Is he located more? Because I haven't seen him at Extreme as much as I used to.
I think I see him at my spot more than anywhere else.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But we've been doing we've been trying to get over to the Performance Institute quite a bit because I do all my work for like fight-oriented work in the morning, since I spend the evenings, teaching the kids classes and the adult classes and that sort of stuff.
Have you begun a fight camp?
What's that?
In anticipation of a fight, have you already
I've been
begun
getting
a fight
ready.
camp?
I told them I'd be ready in July 3 months ago.
What are you weighing now?
I'm about like 184,
180?
5.
Oh, okay.
But that's typically I always start camp at 86, and I just carry a little bit extra on me. I don't even try to like diet hard. I just work out really hard, and I usually drop down to about 72 and I'm good to go from there. So.
Damn, that's crazy.
Man,
that's still 18 pounds.
I got some of that
16
Viking
pounds.
blood in me, so I carry a little extra around. I just cut down on the beers a bit, and it just goes down, So I just don't cut down on the beers too much, though. So.
Evan, help us help you, though.
Yep.
You know those cards you're holding? Reveal one. Come on. What was one of those names?
Man, I keep my cards close.
Yeah?
So, it's...
Because it lets us react. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And to be honest, man, they gave me some.
You want me to ask Goes to
names.
leave the room, and then you just share with us?
To be honest, a couple of those fights were, we're decent. And the guys, and I'm not taking anything away from the guys that they offered me. They're very talented, good fighters. But the thing is, man, is I got to look out for myself. I'm not looking out for nobody else at this point, So if they can't give me a fight, an opportunity to move up off of 4 fight wins, I don't know when the hell they would.
So who's your matchmaker now?
I'm a matchmaker.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean for the UFC? Yeah. Shelby. Yeah. So
okay.
And Shelby's a good dude, man. Like I talk to him when I can, and it's the line of communication is open. Problem is they got a lot on their plate. There's a lot of guys on the roster and a lot of guys that want to fight.
I got an idea for you.
What's that?
Drive there, walk into his office and go,
He's
give me
in
5
Singapore.
minutes. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
When he gets back from Singapore?
Yeah.
Drive there, sit down, and go, let's make a fight.
Yep, that's a good idea. We could do that because I'm there 3 days a week.
No,
so.
no texting, right?
No texting.
No texting.
No
just
texting. Yeah, no,
just
I
get
got
right
it.
down to it. I've heard many stories from
I
Dana
think
White
I got
about
something
how
in the works. I think everything's panning out really, really, really well. But I just can't say. You know what I mean? So
right.
If everything plays out the way I want, it's gonna work out just right.
Would it be in this time zone?
I don't know.
You don't know.
That part's up to be open. But like I said, I can't really.
Would you be fighting somebody where you require a lot of the services of Gil Martinez or Kyle Griffin?
Both.
So he's a well-rounded fighter.
All these people are well-rounded fighters?
Oh, dude, nowadays in the 55 division, I'm a true believer that the 55-pound division is the hardest one in the UFC, hands down. It has been forever. So, if you get a guy in the top 20 in the UFC, they're pretty well-rounded. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of not good guys nowadays. You know what I mean? So that's why when you put yourself in a good position, you need to strike while the iron's hot. So.
All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We have UFC lightweight Evan Dunham here in the house trying to get a fight for him. Ali Quinta's one name that's floating out there. We'll see if we can narrow it down.
Wouldn't mind getting Darush either.
Or Darush as well.
Yeah,
that's a really, really good fight for you. I'd like to see that one. We'll see if we can pin something down by the end of the show. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93.
Goes, it's your favorite song.
Man, that part came across on the broadcast. This better not be dumb.
Any street fights in the last 3 years?
I ain't got time for that, man.
They taught Andy Griffith how to whistle. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
I'm not hating. It's a good song.
Did Rock say his piece?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Simon, you leave today, right?
I do.
Do you have any street fight stories?
I have a bar fight story.
Let's hear it. You gotta make it quick, though.
I can make it real quick. So I was young. I was 21. It was at a place in San Diego. This guy who was drunk was messing with two of my friends. I actually walked in on the situation. They were being really calm and cool about it. And this guy was standing behind us just outside this dance floor in this little bar. And he keeps talking and running his mouth. And all of a sudden, he went ahead and decided to touch one of us, and that one of us was me. And so I turned around, and I told him, I said, don't touch me again. Didn't go off right then and there. I said, don't touch me, man. Don't do it. Turned around. It was like 1 minute later.
This was in San Diego.
This was in San Diego.
By any chance, was this guy's last name Machine?
No.
No? Okay, I'll go ahead.
And then so about a minute went by. He's still running his mouth, and he touched me a second time. And at that point, I turned around, and I grabbed him by the neck, and we went down.
Like Cody Garbrandt?
Like, grabbed him by the neck. I kind of did a choke slam, yeah. Like,
now, what if he was about to go, man, I didn't mean that. I meant I was going to buy you a drink. But he touched you.
Nah, it was a bad situation with my buddies. And
I love it.
We went to it set me off. We went down to the ground. It was like 30 seconds when the guys came and pulled me off of him. It was embarrassing. I had to walk out. I wasn't even drunk. It was just a bad. It was bad.
You checked
but you know what? I kept my cool.
Yeah.
So,
folks, Dunham Jiu-Jitsu is at 1320 East Pebble Road. I've driven by there, and my man gets down. Evan teaches a lot of the classes, and I've seen him with the kids, and he's excellent. What I like is you're no nonsense with the kids too. Like hey, you're coming to train, you're training.
It's not Gymboree, you know what I mean?
What other type of classes? Is it just straight jiu-jitsu?
It's just straight jiu-jitsu
okay.
now. Our classes, all our jiu-jitsu classes, are growing really, really fast, especially our kids. And our Muay Thai class wasn't very popular, so we replaced the two, and which is okay by me, man. Jiu-jitsu is like is what I love, and we really try to focus on this like good environment, So when guys come in, because it's an everyday man's gym, so after a hard day of work, you want to come in. I always refer to it as like the neighborhood bar. Like the new neighborhood bar, guys
Cheers.
used to, exactly. Where guys would work a hard day and they go have a couple drinks with their buddies. Well, you come in and we choke each other, but we don't go crazy because everybody's got to go to work the next day, and it's just a good environment. So I'm really happy with the way it's going.
It's great to have you back in studio. I hope you get the fight you want. We're going to try and get Al on the show soon. We've been trying to hook up anyway. So I'd like to get his thoughts at least because I'll bring that up.
Absolutely.
Your guys' little feud there is public, although it is, like you said, a little one-sided.
I don't know if he's commenting. That's why I hate social media because, I get – like I said, I got on the app for the first time in a long time, and it looked all different, and I didn't know what was what, and so somebody started talking to me, and I thought it was Al Quinta, so I started talking back, and then I don't think it was. Man, I don't know. It's tough. It's hard to argue with somebody when they don't argue back.
Right.
It's like trying to dance with somebody who doesn't want to dance with you.
I've done that a lot. I know what you're talking about.
Well, hopefully soon there's an announcement and we can preview that fight.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Folks, follow Evan on Twitter at Evan Dunham 155. Simon, it's been great to have you here in studio. I know you're heading back to LA today. Safe travels.
I've enjoyed my time,
follow
guys.
Simon at SJ Samano. And, of course, keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the day. Keep that refresh buttons, and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest news in mixed martial arts and MMA and boxing because you know that McGregor-Mayweather thing's heating up. Thanks, Evan Dunham for stopping by. I'm all over the place, and I hope to have you back soon. We're out of here, folks. Go out there and be champions.
Las Vegas